What's up, everybody? It's Yoni from Blockchain Inside Group. Today, we're going to do a quick tutorial / walkthrough / explanation of SudoSwap. Now, before we go into that, let's talk about NFTs. NFTs have been the talk of the town for about over a year now. And as a lot of these NFTs, explode in price, which a lot of them have been just JPEG artworks, there has been a dominant marketplace that has essentially facilitated all of these trades, and that has been OpenSea. Right? Everybody knows of OpenSea right now. If you're in the NFT marketplace, it is the #1 decentralized NFT marketplace, right? It is where a lot of NFT protocols, projects list their NFTs here, where people can trade them. And to trade them, essentially, you can buy them, sell them, or make offers by listing at a certain price, starting a bidding price, or making an offer on like what you think you want to buy it. When you make an offer on OpenSea, you have to wrap your Ethereum into wrapped ETH. That's the only way you can make an offer, because that is essentially a smart contract token versus the Ethereum being the raw gas token. And yeah, essentially you make an offer, and in OpenSea, they charge you about 5% royalty fees. Okay, so every time a trade is made, the artist gets 5% of that trade. So whether you buy it or sell it, and the next person buys it or sell it, the artist makes 5% of that trade. And that's cool, but it's kind of screws over the retail. And this is a very controversial topic, but we'll discuss that in a bit. So beyond the NFT marketplace, OpenSea, and many others like Magic Eden for Solana, there has been 2 other NFT marketplace paradigm shifts. Besides that, there has been Genie. Genie is a NFT marketplace aggregator. So essentially what it does is it looks and finds the best prices that these NFTs are listed on the marketplaces, like Looks Rare, Magic Eden, Rareable, Coinbase Marketplace, etc., right? So it aggregates the best prices so you can get the best price for you. Another one that a paradigm shift within these NFT marketplaces is fractionalization of NFTs. So NFT fractionalization essentially means that you have preferably a popular NFT, you can fractionalize that NFT into different parts where people can buy a fraction of it because they cannot afford the full NFT price. And this can potentially have more buyers for your NFT and more sellers, vice versa. Now, the biggest problem between all of these is liquidity, right? In order to have an efficient marketplace, you need liquidity, and you need instant liquidity. Just like you're trading regular tokens, NFTs don't really have that, at least not as of they didn't until now. And this is where SudoSwap comes in, right? SudoSwap is essentially an automated market maker for NFTs, and I'll go over that in a bit, but essentially it's a decentralized marketplace. Now, the biggest difference instantly you'll see is just 0.5% fees. That means the royalty fees from these NFTs on OpenSea and other marketplaces are eliminated right off the bat. And again, this could be bad for the NFT creators. However, it's good for the retail like you and me. And because it's good for retail, we're more inclined to trade and facilitate more volume through these NFTs, which can ultimately bring the more awareness to the content creator itself. Now, what do I mean by automated market maker? It means that the NFTs will essentially have pools with liquidity for them. So, for example, you are able to create a pool, right? And in these pools, you can buy NFTs with tokens, you can sell them for tokens, and you can also do a little bit of both to earn trading fees. So essentially, this means you are creating a market within that by providing on one half NFT and the other half Ethereum. Now, if we go to just the creating a pool, which is buying it, you select what you want to buy, right? So you want to buy with Ethereum, because right now only Ethereum is supported, and then we're just going to use a NFT sample 10K TF. Then in the next step here, how you create a pool is several factors. Number one, it's the pool pricing. Okay, this means that you determine at what price you want to buy that NFT. So let's say that NFT is trading for 1 ETH and you want to start at 0.8 because you want to get a good deal. Great, you start on it. Here is the bonding curve, and you can select between linear or exponential. What does that mean by that? Linear means that the price each time you buy an NFT goes down by, for example, a certain amount of ETH for linear, which means that, let's say if I want to buy about 5 of these 10K TF NFTs, each time I were to buy one, it would go 0.1 cheaper. So the second one would be worth 0.7, the third one 0.6, and so on and so forth. So essentially you're lowering the floor price by purchasing these. If we do exponential, the only difference is that this is a percentage. So let's say instead of lowering by 0.1 ETH, let's do the delta is 5%. So that means that each time I buy an NFT, the second one that I want to buy is going to be 5% cheaper. So this is a percentage decrease versus a fixed number. And here you select how many you want to buy. So let's say you want to buy 5 of them, and it will calculate for you so that buying 5 NFTs is going to cost you about 3.62 ETH. Versus if you were to buy 5 of them at floor price or even at 0.8, it would be about 4 ETH. So if we move this at floor price, you would save essentially about 0.5 ETH, give or take, if you bought 5 of them. Now, if you go back to here, you can do the same thing for selling, right? So let's say you want to sell 10K TF for ETH. You do the exact same thing. So let's say the floor price is there as a 1, and you want to match this floor price, and you want to sell 5 of them. And I'm just giving these easy example numbers just to go along with it. But on the opposite side here, again, here's the delta, or here's the linear, right? Let's say each time you sell one, it goes up, the price goes up by 0.1. And here, as you can see, the first one that you sold will be at 1 ETH, then following that 1.1 and 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So that means that if you sold 5 of them, you will essentially earn 6 ETH, which is 1 ETH more than what you would have earned if you just sold 5 on OpenSea for 1 ETH. And then again, you can also do exponential curve, and let's do 5% fees. So again, with 5% fees, you would make about 0.5 ETH if you sold 5 of them. So it's ultimately more efficient this way because you kind of provide liquidity in it. And when you, for example, when you provide liquidity by creating a buy offer, you essentially set a limit price, right? So this is like one way where you can set limit buys and limit sells for these NFTs. And that's something that no other marketplace offers at the moment. And then at the same time, here is doing essentially both. So like, let's say I want to provide ETH and I want to provide 10K TF. So what I'm doing is essentially making a pool of one half is the NFT project, and the other half is the liquidity, the ETH. And the difference here is that you can set trading fees on these pools, because remember, the SudoSwap essentially provides users abilities to create pools and make their own trading fees. So here, I want to be competitive, right? Let's say OpenSea has 5%, I want to charge them only 2.5%. And then my starting price is going to be, of course, 1 ETH, just to keep it simple. We're going to do an exponential curve, like I mentioned before. The fees are only going to be 5%, right? And here it tells you how much would you buy up to and how much would you sell up to. So let's say we're going to buy 5 ETH and we're going to sell up to 5 ETH. This means we raise them all the way here. You will see the difference between them. Buying up to 5 of them is going to cost a user 4.121. selling them is going to cost about 5.256. And remember, each time somebody buys or sells, 2.5% of the fees go directly to you, because you provided both NFTs and liquidity at the same time. So here's the curve. Here's the bonding curve for it, as you can see how it fluctuates as you buy or sell. And then obviously you would click next step, and you would provide the following NFTs, and you would create a smart contract, and then boom, you're done. So it may seem a little complicated, but essentially it's quite simple based on what it offers. Now, if we go to collections, you can see several things for here, right? You can see the NFTs that are listed. You can see the floor price of them. You can see the best offer, right? Offer to TVL, which means total volume locked, and total value locked, and then the volume for them, right? So if we click on here, you can see the floor price. And you can also do one cool thing is called sweep mode. Sweep mode essentially allows you to buy the floor price and on many different NFTs. And this is cool because, like, let's say you were to buy, five NFTs here, and it's gonna cost you about 1.834. This buys them all under one transaction, versus in OpenSea you would have to manually buy one by one. And it's interesting because you can also see how the price goes up each time you buy one, because essentially when you're sweeping the floor, you're ultimately raising the floor price for these NFTs. So here it essentially has a batch buy order for it. Again, if you don't want to do that, you can also make a collection offer, meaning that I'm willing to buy 5 of these NFTs, and let's see, the lowest floor price is this much. So I want to buy 5 of them at 0.3. So like that means that when the price drops 0.3, this is how much I'm willing to buy, 5 of them. And each time one of them gets bought, I want it to decrease by either, again, linear or percentage. And I want it to decrease by 10% each time. So that means that each NFT I buy becomes 10% cheaper. Here you can click create an offer, sign the smart contract. It doesn't work right now because I don't have the amount of ETH here, but it gives you a way to set limit buys for them and create offers. And then when somebody matches that offer, then all your NFTs are bought. So it's a pretty cool way that no other marketplace currently offers at the moment. And then again, you can see the activities, and then you can see the pools. So this is where, like, for example, some of the largest pools are for this NFT project. So here, if you click on it, you can see the guy's swap fee. So he put a 5% swap fee for this pool, meaning that each time there's a trade, 5% goes to the pool owner. And as you see here, you can see the price graph for them as each time an NFT is bought or sold, it goes higher. So, and here's the volume for it. So here you can see how much with buying and how much selling it would cost you for this specific pool, which is pretty cool that that you can see this almost in live real-time action. But yeah, so there's obviously, if you don't like this pool, and by so this is just delta again, right? So each time an NFT is bought or sold, this is the price change that happens for it. But again, if you don't like that one, there's many different pools per project, right? So here's another one, and let's see what his fee is. He has a similar fee, so you can try to find one that has a lot of NFTs listed, but with also the swap fees. So this guy's delta is a little bit cheaper, right? The other one had 4%, this one is 2%. So this might seem more attractive. So again, there's many pools, and the market itself becomes competitive, and essentially you can find the best pricing for them. And this ultimately sets the market price for a lot of these NFTs. So SudoSwap essentially allows you to have a way where you can provide instant liquidity, and again, another way is where you can sell instantly your NFTs, right? If someone has an offer for it that he wants to buy a certain amount of NFTs at this price, and you want to sell your NFT right away, you can essentially accept his offer, and boom, you get that instant liquidity without waiting forever for somebody to hopefully buy your NFTs on OpenSea. Because you can list something, but unless someone makes an offer that is attractive to you, or someone accepts the offer that you made, it's likely not going to go anywhere. So the current implementation of SudoSwap is actually an evolved form, as originally it was supposed to be a peer-to-peer, NFT swap, where you essentially create a swap price and it would match to another one without like an intermediary of like OpenSea, for example. Then obviously the big brains at SudoSwap evolved it into becoming a automated market maker, which was genius. And you can see the success of SudoSwap. I like to use Dune Analytics for this because it gives you a lot of different information. You can see the volume, about 22 million transacted volume, and it literally launched about a month ago. So it's been great. Since then, it's gained about 15,000 users, a rough estimate, about 95,000 NFTs. The platform has generated about 111,000 in fees. And then here you can see the volume. And bear in mind that this is a bear market that we are having at the current time. And you can see that the volume has been steadily increasing and the fees have been steadily increasing. But more importantly, the metrics that I like to see is the number of daily users and daily active users. And you can see here on this chart that is steadily growing over time. And these are healthy metrics that I like to see. Now, some alpha for you guys is that SudoSwap essentially doesn't have a token yet. However, the same founders who made a NFT collection called, and then you can see here 0xmons, right? These are these AI Pokemons, or you can call them. So the Giga Brains that created these NFTs, also Xmons, have a dedicated token called, with the ticker XMON. So this is like an indirect way to have exposure to SudoSwap, in my opinion, and this is not financial advice. But because SudoSwap does not have a token for itself, and you want to have a way to invest in SudoSwap indirectly, then exposure to XMON token is one way to consider it, because it's essentially the same team that created SudoSwap. However, I believe that eventually they will they will do an airdrop and have a token traded for this, which will probably facilitate something like staking it and collecting the platform fees, or vice versa. And most likely it will airdrop to the people that have used this protocol, that have made offers, that have made swaps, that have created pools, etc., etc. Those users are likely to benefit from that token. So I do recommend you try out the platform, make some trades, create a pool, because you might benefit from a future airdrop for it. And here is XMON on CoinMarketCap. If you zoom out, here's the price for XMON in the past couple of months. So this is in a bear market where we've had yearly lows, and then this project has continued to absolutely explode in price. And now we're seeing a bit of a correction. So, as if it starts correcting a little bit lower, it might be a good price potential to have some exposure in this project. It is very little low in total supply. Again, you can see the data here. This is why the price is so low, is because there's very few tokens in the circulating. But if you can look at the all-time high, it was around almost 100, almost 80,000, right? So it still has a long way to go to reach back its all-time high, almost a 3x from now. So if SudoSwap continues to gain success, if the market recovers, then I see Exmon, going back to all-time highs, if not surpassing it, because it went to its all-time high when there was like essentially nothing out, and now we have sort of an indirect exposure token to SudoSwap. So yeah, SudoSwap is potentially a big threat to OpenSea, because rather than having projects list on OpenSea, they can list on SudoSwap and provide liquidity and sort of gain volume and popularity for these projects. And ultimately, these teams that launch these projects can create a pool where they can provide Ethereum and the NFT project at the same time, and then ultimately facilitate swaps and make trading fees rather than having royalty fees. And ultimately, I think this benefits both the users and the creators at the same time. So yeah, SudoSwap, the leading and the only one that I'm aware of as an automated market maker NFT marketplace. So do check it out. Let me know what you think, and we'll come back to this in a year and see the success of it. So again, this is Yoni. Thank you for watching. We do offer a full crypto blockchain course that teaches you everything from what Bitcoin is, from what blockchain is, what cryptocurrency is, to DeFi, to portfolio management, all of the above. And we also have a Discord community for it. So check us out. Link is in the bio.